Hey, what's going on, geeks? Maxusthebeast is here. And welcome to a Subnautica Bonus episode. This isn't part of the main series, because I'm not actually playing the game. But, today, it relates to Subnautica because I'm going to be reading... Closing out of that. So I'm professional. Anyway... We're going to be reading over the comments on some of these articles on the Subnautica Wiki. There may be some language because of salty people. Anyway. This definitely language. I was scrolling through the comments before starting this video and I found this little gem right here. Okay, posted by a fandom user, December 11th, 2016, and it reads, "Is the moon pool present in the Power Nap update? Cause I have the crack version, and I don't know. No one gives me a response. I'll just buy the effing game, so I'm assured that I have everything. You should have bought. Okay." Yeah, like this guy said, you should buy the game anyway. Don't come to a games wiki and ask for help with an illegally obtained copy of the game in question. Never never use a cracked version of a game. You're stealing. It's pretty much the equivalent of stealing because it's pirating something that costs money. If you get something for free that costs money, unless it's like on a sale or whatever, but if you get anything illegally that's stealing. You're denying the developers who work very hard to make a good game. They work very hard to make the game. You're denying them funds to continue the development of the game. And yes, never go onto the official wiki of the game or any other website and publicly broadcast, can I get stuff for like Moonpool locations for the cracked version of the game? That's stupid. You're basically just saying, hey, I'm a thief. Notice me and ban me from Steam or whatever. Or something like that. Just give me some fine for thievery. Arrest me, please. Good gosh. What an idiot. Not reading that. Same. A fandom user, the same guy, I believe, bought the game. The inconsistent and resource finding and bugs that leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere on top of the crash once in a while at random hours play it in the ever decreasing frame rate. A frame rate drop totally ruining its experience. We should not have bought it in the first place. Oh my gosh. Thank you for Google translating this from your native language, or just not understanding grammar because you're an 8-year-old who hasn't gone through beginning writing literature or English or anything of that sort. I'm confused. What does it mean on top of the crash? Like you're on top of the crash site? I've never, in my 107 hours of playing the game, I have never encountered a glitch that'll throw me on top of the crash site. That's never happened to me. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, that only would happen to me if I'm just derping around in a creative mode world and use the warp command, and even then the world loads after 30 seconds of waiting, because when you teleport places, if you haven't done it, if you're using the warp command and not the actual teleporters provided to you by the game. I it looks like the world broke, but then it loads in after a few seconds of waiting, because when you teleport, you're just throwing yourself from one location to another. When using the in-game teleporters made by the precursors, it has an automatic loading sequence when you're teleporting that gives the area you're teleporting to a chance to load before throwing you into it. Dropping a frame rate? That's expected from an early access game, especially with a game that looks like a AAA. The game's graphics are beautiful. That's kind of expected, and from early access, optimization is still being worked on. So I don't expect the game to run 60 frames per second all the time, or 60 or higher. I don't expect that all the time. I expect good frames, but I do also expect the occasional frame drop, especially when loading into larger biomes, or some Leviathan is swimming around right in front of me, or popping in, or whatever. Or a generated structure is loading in. I expect frame drops. Excuse me, Google notification. Listen, you have not experienced a frame drop unless you're me, who played at least 40 hours of Subnautica on a Macintosh laptop at lowest settings, running anywhere from 10 to 15 frames. And I played a lot of the game, and I had a blast, even though my frames per second were just terrible. Okay, just gonna skip through here. Oh. Another paragraph by a fandom user, another anonymous person. Well, just by the first sentence, I already can tell I like this guy. First, never play pirated games. Should be pirated, not pirate. Wish I could edit that. A frickin' grammar Nazi. Second, FPS issues are expected if you have a system that cannot support a game like Subnautica. If you are on max settings on a laptop, please turn the settings down to mid or low. That will help you run smoother FPS. Helped me when I used to play on a laptop. Upgraded now. Oh, so this guy's like me. He used to play on a laptop. I'm sure a lot of people have. You know? Third, expect bugs from an early access title. The game will be finished in May. Or at least the story part. That means that there should be less bugs then. Never once have I had an issue being stranded on top of the crash. Does that mean being adventurous and going to the crash zone to fight a Leviathan and everything went awry? Fourth, the dev team is making its set of resources are just a tad more abundant. Play the real game that the devs worked on and not some free pirate garbage off some illegal website. Then maybe your ignorant eyes will be open. Peace. That'll be me, just peace. Stop, YouTube. Stop it. Okay. I think that's all the good stuff I'll find here. I'm not going to read through every comment because that will take ages, especially on things that people can't find. Let's go back over to the main page here. Biomes. Oh. Don't know what that was. Don't want to know. Let's look at the crag field. There's a destroyed life pod there. Maybe I should go back. Oh, there's a warp gate. I'm not going to read all of this. Markiplier! When was this added? Oh. Yeah. I feel like Reapers would spawn here. Oops, I mean should. Whoa! The Crackfield is a resource-rich biome with some low-level predators. Groups of bone shark are frequent in the area along with the occasional mesmer passing by. Tiger plants can also be found in this biome, camouflaged and mostly hidden by the grasses with rock-like structures. Wow, Drag Croat. Reword. He was reading that off the wiki. Yeah. See what else is here. As of right now, is there anything important in this biome? I don't know. At least not right now, but there will be a precursor teleporter cache later in the future. Huh. The teleporter is now on experimental mode, but I can't be activated yet since it is a slave teleporter and a master teleporter most likely be in the PCF. Don't know what that means. You can still find lithium and scrap metal though. Good to know. Huh. Just looking through all this. Reapers from Crash risk here? Not at all. I've thoroughly patrolled the borders of the crash zone and they don't even venture near here. Correction, I was searching and almost immediately found a Reaper from Crash swimming around. Correction, wetter, they go to the border is not completely border or not is completely random. Okay. Oh. Squids. I wish there were more squid creatures in the game. You know, squids are cool. You gotta be squidding me. Okay, it'd be nice if the creature lived in here that was unique to it, or have something interesting going on with it. Perhaps an abundance of crab squids, like it's their breeding ground or something like that. Yeah. Maybe something that camouflages itself, we need more of those. Yeah, it would be nice, but at the same time, I'd like to actually be able to explore here. Between the bone sharks mobbing the Cyclops and potential Arlevs, Reaper Leviathans, from the crash zone, no thanks. Interesting means warper or similar in terms of danger. I have an idea. Rock crabs. Like crabs squid. Squid. But shorter squid. You spelled it right here, but misspelled it there. Part hollows out rocks and make leg holes, arm holes, and eye holes. What? Okay. What's twisty bridges? I don't know. Don't know what that is. Low level predators. I didn't know that's what you called a Reaper Leviathan. No reapers here. Only bone sharks and tiger plants that are dangerous. With occasional mesmer. Reaper from Karalish zone as it borders it. Just reading through all this, the grammar is terrible. Cragfield, Craigslist. Okay. Let's go back over to the wiki main page. Browsing biomes, not looking at those tentacles. That's obviously a tentacle. Let's see about the crash zone. I don't think there's anything stupid with a spoiler with the Aurora, because it's pretty much self-explanatory. Huh. I don't see a Reaper there. Let's zoom in. As soon as it loads. I can barely see that. Get a better picture if you want to prove your point about Reapers. How many P's can I put into the thing? Six? Ew. Horrible picture of Reaper. I know, but you can just go there by yourself if you have the game. I can't seem to. Oh, they removed that. I think. What? What? This has perplexed me for a long time. The terrain under the Aurora. Yes, under. Using FreeCam to see what's under the Aurora, you can see the terrain textures that aren't used anywhere else. To me, they look like pimples. There's also a life pod that's upside down on the surface of the crash zone. Yeah, it really creeps me out, the land under the Aurora. That has to be one of the scariest places in the game. What? Keeping the horrible grammar down there for a minute. I don't know what they're talking about. Pimples? Then again, I've never been underneath the Aurora. I guess they're referencing the fact that there's 6 Reapers there. I mean, just being near 2 was bad enough for me. Remember episode 6? Scan the Reaper? And then there was that stupid second one we bumped into. I mean, none of them got hold of us or killed us or anything. But it was bad enough being that close to it. Anyway, let's read these, because this sounds good. Reaper only appears after explosion. I don't think so. No. Rally. Dash Doom. Correction, entrance only appears after explosion. Okay. Good to know when we finally go to the Aurora. What? Oh, Scream. I think you mean Scream. So I was going around looking for a safe shallows wreck. I was searching and searching. I only came across kelp forests and more safe shallows. So I thought to myself, is the safe shallows that big? Then the Aurora comes out of nowhere and scream in the distance. I think he means Scream. From the Reaper Leviathan. Didn't mean to highlight that. The radiation detected will tell you when you get within 940 meters of the Aurora. Not if you have the radiation suit on. The big empty area right to the right of the Aurora needs to have something done with it. Maybe have it go back from the depths of the coral reef biome from the concept arts. A long, massive Great Barrier Reef style design that stretches from the bottommost point to the topmost point of the crash zone's eastern border into the east of the reef. It slips down to the void. That's cool. That's a cool idea. Do something with the endless plane that is whatever is on the other side of the Aurora. Because from what I've seen from these screenshots and from actually getting too close to the thing, there's not really that much geographical difference. It kind of looks like a dunes with a giant ship thrown in the middle of it. And to the right of it, I've looked around in creative. Haven't gone into it in creative, but I looked around the Aurora in creative. There was pretty much nothing. It was just a flat zone. I mean, once you get away from all the wrecks and stuff, the smaller wrecks and whatever that's on the side of the Aurora, once you get away from that, it's just kind of a flat slope that you just have to swim through with out-of-place fish and low-level predators, and occasionally, if you're unlucky, you'll bump into a Reaper. There's not really that much on the other side. So putting the Great Barrier Reef there would be a really cool idea. Give it some diversity. Be like, oh hey, this is a pretty little area. You should check it out. But be careful, you go the wrong way and you're right in the face of a Reaper Leviathan. Let's read a couple more comments and we're going to call it a video. Okay. The new Crash Zone Grand Reef is awesome. Thanks for adding the photos, Morph Guy. What? I don't know. I don't know what that means. My theory on the Aurora was that it crashed into a deeper dunes area shown by the deep trenches behind it, which go up more and more as you get closer to the Aurora, signifying that it dragged along the bottom and pushed a lot of material around it to form a hump of sorts. The Reaper Leviathans already lived in the dunes and were simply crushed by the Aurora upon its impact, or were lucky enough to be far away not to get run over by it. And considered warpers only started spawning in the other areas after the system recognized an infected survivor. I don't know what that was, I just saw a flash of light. Where were we? Infected survivor. They most likely knew the ship was still intact from the quarantine reinforcer, or the gun, as I like to call it, and did enough damage to the dark matter core to cause it to explode, as it stated before the crash, and shot through the Aurora itself was enough to cause the dark matter core to collapse. After doing so, they went back to the precursor bases to recharge after using lots of energy to damage the core. Hence why we don't see them. The extended degree field is merely the underside of the Aurora being chipped off as it crashed and during its descent into the atmosphere, as well as the chunks that were jettisoned off of it during the dark matter core drive failure. Whew! That was a paragraph. That's an interesting theory, and good to know that warpers get aggressive if you're diseased. Good to know. And recharge, though? Like, I've only seen, like, a couple warpers. They didn't really seem to do that much. Other than teleport around and look creepy. But if they get aggressive, if you're infected, then we're definitely going to see some crap with them. Anyway. For those who keep jumping back and forth with the crash zone is an environment before the crash. It is a mix of kelp forest, dunes, and safe shallows. Why? Because you wake up 3 hours after crashing, not days. Your PDA startup says its first log, T plus 3 hours. That's 3 hours after splashdown. You've been knocked out 3 hours. Other survivor logs mere minutes after splashdown, and you see how those pods ended up. 3 hours is not enough time for Reapers from other dunes to realize what happened and migrate to the crash zone as a new environment. The flora and fauna on the safe-ish side of the crash zone couldn't have grown here in 3 in-game hours. It takes longer than that for a lantern tree to fully mature. Every other biome has multiple zones except the dunes, Grand/Sparse Reef, Sea Treader's Path, and Koosh. While these other biomes can have smaller, more localized regions of the null segment, second Sea Treader Path being in the null behind the debris field, you have to have a second vast area for another dunes, the crash site. Anyway, I think I've read enough. This has been kind of fun. This has been fun and kind of funny too, with all the grammar mistakes and me being just like, I gotta correct them all. Gotta correct every one of these mistakes. It's my job as a human being. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this bonus episode, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below if you're hyped to see more actual Subnautica, because I think people are starting to associate me more with Overwatch, since for the last few days I've been uploading nothing but Overwatch content. I mean, sure, I did put up that Subnautica episode 10 and the Guts and Glory video, but I've been doing a lot of Overwatch, even though I have been getting some good reception with that. So thank you guys for the support for those videos. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you are new, please be sure to consider subscribing. Each subscription means so much to me. 20 subscribers, I can't thank you enough. I have a second video in the works for the 20 sub mark. It is, like I said in the last video, the Overwatch Funny Moments video. It is actually the reacting to old content video. It's in the works. It should be released soon. I can't give you an exact date. If you are new and did just click the subscribe button, please be sure to hit the notification bell right beside the now pushed subscribe button, so you'll be notified whenever I make another new amazing video. Anyway, guys, I won't take up any more of your time. 28 minutes, wow. Anyway, like I said, rambling. As always, Maxusthebeast is out.